All right. Hey guys, welcome back to Sun Crypto. It is April 24th, 2022, 10:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let me do a mic check, 589, mic check, 589. So to make sure the sound is good before we dive into the analysis and all that good stuff, right? So let me know if the sound is good. So just write 589 so I know the sound is good. So don't forget to hit the likes, guys. Don't forget to hit the likes. Join the public Telegram group, link in the description. You can also join the Discord public group, link in the description. If you're looking to join Send Premium, you can basically send me a message and I'm gonna give you all the information to join the premium group. Hey, what's up, Quiet Cook? Thanks a lot for tuning in. KASFR in a house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. 589. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. String Man in a house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. 589. So the sound is good, right? So let's go ahead and talk about BTC on the macro view. So we will take a look at the dev cross on the 3D. We'll talk about the monthly 21 EMA. We've been talking about the monthly 21 EMA over the last few months, right? Since December and all that good stuff. So it's been like over 4 months we've been above the monthly 21 EMA consolidating. It's been boring, but will BTC just do what everyone is expecting, right? Everyone is expecting BTC to capitulate. Will it just basically get the job done and be over with it and just retest these macro supports? We will take a look at it in details and all that good stuff, right? So we'll talk about Ethereum on a macro view also, on a weekly basis. We'll take a look at Luna, Atom, FTM and NEAR. So most of these coins are top coins in the top 25, 50, whatever, right? So we'll talk about these macro view setups for these alt and all that good stuff, right? So let's go ahead and dive in now into the analysis for BTC. So we're going to start off with the monthly time frame. So when we take a look at the monthly, we don't have much to say. We're just going to be repeating ourselves regarding the monthly 21. We knew the monthly 21 going to be a very strong support. So bulls definitely going to try to stay above the monthly 21 and don't want to basically see the price action to dump below the monthly 21, because historically whenever we dump below the monthly 21, we tend to capitulate like 40 to 50%, and 40 to 50% from the current price of the monthly 21 going to take us just about like let's say 45 to 50%. Okay, going to take us nearly at the low 20k, okay, to be exact 20 to 19k, right? So if we take a look at it back in 2019, right, 2020 actually, after we capitulated below the monthly 21, we dumped 47% all the way down to 4k. Okay, if you take a look at it back in November 2018, we dumped like just about the same percentage, okay, 47%, 48% below the monthly 21 EMA. So if we take a look at it right now, the monthly 21 EMA, once again, it is at 38, right? So 47% going to take us right around like a 19.5 to 21.5. But I don't think it is going to be that easy, because we got multiple supports, before retesting the mid 20k to a low 20ks and all that good stuff. Okay, the first support going to be the 30k price support, right? We got the 30k price support, and second of all, we got the the monthly 50 EMA or even MA. So if you're comfortable with the MA, you can use the MA. If you're comfortable with the EMA, you can use the EMA. So it is not a question of right or wrong. It is just a question of which one do you prefer. So if you're Doom Boy, you're most likely going to be choosing the lower one, but you just have to be very careful, because you could basically miss the reversal if you're looking for a complete if you're looking for the absolute bottom. So you got two EMAs, both of them 50s, right? One of them, the blue one, it is your 50 EMA. The white one, it is your 50 EMA. So the blue one, it is at 25.9, and the white one, it is at 20.6. Okay, so it means like the 50 EMA, it is at 26 on average, right? And the 50 EMA, it is at 20.6. Okay, so you got a good buffer of nearly 20%, right? You know, you got a 20% range to accumulate if we get there. All right, so so now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC in terms of 3D. We'll talk about the 3D dev cross, right? So so the 3D dev cross, it is approaching, right? So it is nothing but whenever we say a dev cross, we mean like a, you know, your 50 MA, right, crossing your you know, your 200 MA. Okay, so back in 2018 we got one right there. Okay, our November capitulation, we got it after the you know, the 50 you know, MA crossed the 200 MA, right? Back in November, the first week of November, we dumped nearly 40%. We just talk about it on a monthly basis, meaning like, so whenever we get these you know, these type of crossovers, right, we tend to get what, a breakout below the monthly you know, a breakout below the monthly 21 EMA. So right now, as you can see, we're getting another one right here. So the 50 MA, it is right around like 43, right? 43, and the 200 MA, it is right around like 40k. So they could cross over within the next like a few weeks. Okay, depending on volatility, right? Depending on volatility, it could be sometime in May or June. Okay, so but keep an eye on it, right? So if we get the dev cross, that could come from our you know, our thesis regarding the breakout below the monthly 21 EMA, right? So we just talked about the monthly 21 EMA, and we're about to get a dev cross. So something to you know, something to keep in mind. I'm not saying we will capitulate 50%, but it is something you want to keep an eye on within the next like a few weeks and all that good stuff, right? So now let's go ahead and dive into the weekly time frame, right? And we will talk about the volume after that, right? So the weekly time frame, the short-term weekly support going to be the weekly 100 EMA. I'm not sure if bear is going to break it this week, or you know, if bears want to wait till May to break the weekly 100 EMA. Okay, so it is going to be the support going to be at 37 to 36, give or take, right? The weekly 100 EMA. So if bulls can close above it again, that could, you know, that could delay any, you know, any possible dump over the next like a few weeks. Okay, because if you recall back in January, we talked about like how strong the weekly 100 EMA going to be. So we said, guys, accumulate the dips right here and sell somewhere around like a 43 to 46, and reaccumulate the dips and sell again at 40, you know, 43 to a 46. Don't be buying above like a 43, 46k area, because we know 46 going to be a resistance, and the second resistance going to be, you know, at 52. So no need to be buying this range though. So you want to be selling above 43, 46k area, and basically look for the 30k support. And later on, if we retest the monthly 50, you're going to be, you know, looking for another secondary support and all that good stuff, right? So weekly support, once again, going to be at 36.7, which is going to be our weekly 100 EMA. We got a nasty weekly rejection right there. That's not good at all, right? But really, you know, if you recall what we had right here, we did get a nasty one, but we still managed to pump to the upside, right? So we just have to be very, very cautious in that regard, and not be extremely bearish. Okay, so because even though the monthly time frame is not looking that good, right, the weekly could do something crazy, like you know, just pump like a pump back up to like, let's say 43, 45, and everyone going to flip, you know, bullish again, and sucker going to reverse later on. That's possible, but I would just stay with the downtrend, because it is going to be very very tricky trying to basically flip bullish on every pump, right? So if you've been bullish over the last few weeks, you can see that you could be getting burned right now, okay? Because we got like 4 straight weekly bearish candles, okay? Four straight weekly bearish candles, and last time we got 4 straight weekly bearish candles were, let's see, last time was, you know, back in June, okay? Almost like 2 years ago, okay? Almost 2 years ago, right? June of 2020, okay? Right there. Yeah, so that was like nearly June 2020. That's the last time we got 4 bearish, you know, weekly candles and all that good stuff, right? So weekly MACD, it is back negative. That's not a good sign for the bulls, right? So, you know, it could create a divergence. We don't know, okay? But sometimes these divergences, you don't know how they're going to be looking like, okay? So it could be a wedge pattern. It could just be, you know, a retest of like a mid 25, something like that before pushing to the upside. But the most important thing to note, to basically remember on a weekly basis is like the weekly 100 EMA support and the negative divergence on a weekly basis, okay? So now let's take a look at the volume. So the volume, it doesn't matter if we want to take a look at it on a weekly or on a monthly, it is still low, right? It looks good on a monthly basis because you know you're going to get a big volatility. So monthly volatility, it is not something you want to be playing with, right? It is very dangerous, right? If you pick the wrong direction, right, with the monthly volatility, because the monthly, sometimes when you get a big volume, you don't tend to basically pump like 2 to 3%. You could be pumping like 40 to 50% or dumping like 30 to 40%, something like that. So you got to make sure you stay with the right direction in case we get a big volatility to the downside, okay? So the directional move, as of now, it is still down. If we go back to 2018, you can see like we got a similar price action, okay? Right there, the volume was decreasing after the all-time high, right? And if we take a look at it right now, the volume been decreasing since the since like March 20 April 2021, actually March 2021, right there. That's the last big volume we got. And on our way to the upside, you can see like how volume was decreasing. And I keep saying that whenever volume is decreasing, price is decreasing, it is either you're going to get a sideways correction or a down, a downward, downward pressure and all that good stuff, right? So volume is decreasing, price is, moving sideways, or you could call it like decreasing. So it is still under accumulation, or you could call it like a bear market, whatever you call it. But we're still in range over the last 12 to 13 months, okay, between 30k and 69k. So hey, what's up, T-Dog in the house? Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. So now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC again on a 3D basis, right? So the 3D time frame, I don't know if I mentioned it right regarding the MACD. So we've been following the MACD over the last few years, okay? We've been pretty spot on with the MACD, right? Being negative on the 3D or being positive, okay? So back in November, what we said right here was like, let's just pack our bags, right? Until we get a clean, 3D MACD, okay? And as you can see right here, after MACD was, positive, what I was saying was like, even though the overall trend, it is down, right? And we got a clean flat correction, it is nearly going to be impossible to get a high volatility as long as our MACD is, positive. Even everything is negative, okay? But the positive MACD, right, is basically keeping bears from, striking hard, right? Meaning like dumping the price like a 30%, 40%. That's why I wasn't expecting like a hard dump, right? Back in, February, March and all that good stuff. I was just saying, okay, let's just accumulate, right, between 33, 34 up to 43, 46. Okay, if we pump above that range, we know 52 going to be the next resistance, right? Secondary resistance, right? First resistance 46, secondary resistance like at 52, but BTC could not push all the way up to a 52 as of now. Okay, so MACD, it is negative, so it is a bearish sign. Price action, it is below the 21 EMA. That's not a good sign neither. Okay, so in terms of wave analysis, it is pretty clean. We talk about it in terms of total 2. The total 2 looks pretty good in terms of like a flat correction. We could be looking for a continuation to the downside. First support at 30k, right? So let's take a look at the total 2, because the total 2 is going to follow BTC anyway, right? So, and Ethereum, of course, right? So if you take a look at the total 2, I talk about it in my premium, right? We talked about it back in early January right here when the total 2 was nearly somewhere around like 1.3, right? We said we're going to be dumping all the way down to like a 850, 880, right? We dump all the way down to a 0.618. If you do a swing low to swing high, double bottom right here, got a double top right there, right? You could call it a higher high, right? Some people are going to get wrecked like that. And you could be looking for 0.786 at 740 billion. Okay, if you just want to follow these Fibonacci's, right? 0.618 was at 888, right? Billion. 888 billion, right? And 0.618 was at 888 billion. Okay, 0.786 going to be at 740 billion, give or take. So it means like Alt will lose some market share to BTC, right? Depending on how BTC will behave also. Okay, so if you take a look at total 2, that's going to be nearly a 30% drop. Okay, so it means like Ether could drop at least 25 to 30%, right? So just by following the total 2 price behavior, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at Ether. So we're done with total 2. I was about to talk about total 2 at last, but that's the only thing we need to know about total 2. On the 3D, we also negative, and our next support going to be 740 billion, give or take. Okay, and 0.888 going to be at 670, right? But we don't need to basically follow the total 2 like every day, right? Looking for like the exact price. So once we hit like a 740 to 680, you just got to be cautious, like shorting the market, because some of these alt could be pumping very, very hard, try to retest like the previous Fibonacci and all that good stuff, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at Ether. So when we take a look at Ether, we're just going to keep it very simple for Ether, nothing fancy. So Ether on a weekly basis, so as long as we're going to be below our weekly 25 MA, right, Ether going to be what? Ether going to be bearish. Okay, so we got rejected right here. If you guys recall, I said it multiple times, even when Ether was right around like 26, right? Because I remember we were shorting right here, and I was like, okay, if we break above like a 2866, that is it. No need to be going against the trend. Just wait till we get another better setup and all that good stuff, right? So got rejected right around the weekly at 25 MA at 30, 35, give or take 35, 36, and now it is below it, right? Nearly over 20%, right? So if we go back to 2018, we got a similar price action. Okay, a big dump, a retest, and a capitulation. Okay, so you take a look at it right here. Back in 2019, dump below it, retested it, and dump right back below it. Okay, so right here in 2021, we got a support from it, right, and pumped back above it and created a new all-time high, right? So but we were bearish right here, right around like a 4100, 4200 range. Okay, before even the dump below the weekly 25 MA, because we were expecting Ether to dump anyway based on the 3D time frame. Okay, based on based on the 3D strategy, right? As soon as we started to be negative right here, right, and price action could not stay above the 21 EMA, what we said was like, okay guys, this is it. Okay, MACD been negative like forever, right? And we cannot we can't get the MACD to flip positive, so most likely Ether will have to capitulate probably all the way down to the monthly 21, and we did get a dump all the way down to the monthly 21. Okay, so even if you want to analyze Ether on a monthly basis to make it very easy for yourself, you can see like back in 2020, support from the monthly 21, right, broke below it, right, dumped nearly all the way down to $80. Okay, dumped like 80% after we break the monthly 21 EMA and all that good stuff. So the monthly 21 EMA was a very strong resistance back in 2019, back in 2020, and after we broke out above it, you can see what happened. Okay, we pump all the way up to nearly 5K. Okay, so we don't want to break the monthly 21. That could be pretty nasty, right? And if you want to follow your next moving average, that's going to be your monthly 50, just like BTC. Okay, the monthly 50 going to be at 50.33 as of now. Okay, so assuming like let's say if Ether dumps like right now, okay, the monthly 50 EMA going to be at 15.33. However, if Ether moves sideways, right, for the next like a few months, the monthly 50 could be somewhere around like a 2,000. We don't know. So with these moving averages, you just have to be you just have to follow them. Okay, you can't just say like the monthly 50, I'm gonna be waiting the monthly 50 at 1500 range. Okay, so and the monthly MACD just crossed negative, right? So that's not a good sign, right? We cross negative right here, and most of the time, right, with the MACD, whenever whenever price action is below your 21 EMA, right, most of the time you're going to get a negative MACD. So if you don't get a negative MACD, it means like you're going to get what, a slowdown in your volatility. Okay, so so a negative MACD price action, it is still above the 21 EMA, right? So let's see if Ether will break below the monthly 21 EMA. That's not going to be a good sign after that, right? So Tariq, thanks a lot for tuning in. Tariq is bullish. Okay, that's good, man. That's good. Just buy the dip, man. It's not gonna be I don't think we're going to stay below the monthly 21 EMA forever. So it's better to buy the dips, right? Just have a macro view for BTC. Okay, 2 years ago BTC was just about like a 4K. Right now we're still around like 4K, so it is still 1000% up. Okay, most of these alt not even like 200% up, like EOS or like some of these alt. Okay, most of them, they're not like 10x up. Okay, so BTC, it is still up 1000%, right, since April 2020. Actually, right there, let's do it like that. Okay, since March, okay, since March 2020, not 2022. Okay, it is still up 10x. Okay, 900%, right? So you just got to be very patient, and not try to follow the short-term volatility, because the short-term volatility could get you burned, right? If you if you're only trading the short-term volatility and not paying attention to the macro view, because in the next like 2 to 3 years, I don't think BTC will be below the monthly 21, and the monthly 21 could be 5 times higher, like let's say around like a 150. Okay, somewhere around here, around like a 150 to a 180. 2 years ago, the monthly 21 EMA was right around like a let's say 7K. Okay, 7K, and now we above like nearly 40K, right? Nearly 40K, 38 to 40K. So you're looking at like 5x, right? So 5x from now, you're looking at like nearly, you know, 200K, right? Depending on volatility, right? Right? So Jenko, thanks a lot for tuning in, man. We're going to 20K, man. I don't know, okay? Just follow the moving averages, right? The next big support going to be, in terms of moving averages, right? The next big support going to be the monthly 50, okay? The monthly 50 MA, it is at 26, right? The monthly 50 MA, it is at 20.5. Actually 6, right? So just follow the your EMAs, right? If we break the monthly 21, just follow your EMAs. Don't try to pick the bottoms and all that good stuff. Not financial advice, right? But don't try to pick the bottoms, right? It could be anywhere in this range, right? And some other bears, they're calling for like a 16K, 14K. They're going to basically drain you out, right? Because it could take forever. It could take like 2 years before even we drop below like a 20K, right? As you can see, it's already been like what, over a year, and we still, you know, in range between like a 65 down to like a, you know, 30K, or you could include the 69. Okay, so you just don't know how long we're going to stay in this range. We could stay in this range, like pump back up to like a 50, retest it, and pump to the upside. That's possible, just like what happened right here before that move to you know, 69 and all that good stuff. Okay, so I wouldn't be looking for anything below 21, right? I think like a, you know, mid 20s down to a low 20s is good enough to accumulate, just like what happened back in January when BTC was at 35K. I was screaming, guys, we at the monthly 21 and at the weekly 100 EMA. It could take forever to break below it. I give you guys big warning, okay? I give you guys big warning regarding the monthly 21 and you know, weekly and the weekly 100 EMA, right, back in January. Okay, so if you've been panicking since January, you know, you're going to be panicking whenever BTC pumps, right? And you're going to be panicking whenever BTC dumps, because you're just not, I mean, you're just not convinced, right? You're just not convinced, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at Luna, okay? Because Luna, so Luna weekly MACD just crossed negative, right? And we got a strong divergence. So keep an eye on Luna over the next like a few weeks and so on, okay? A negative weekly MACD. Yes, we got last week, we got a nice support, right, from 75 pump back up to, I was expecting it based on the 3D, right? I was analyzing it based on the 3D after we dumped below the 3D 21 with a negative MACD, right? Just like how we played it on Atom and you know, FTM, AVAX, and all of them. Even on Ether, I just showed you Ether. So you know, broke out below it. I was like, okay, it is, you know, it could pump back up above the 3D 21. However, if MACD stays negative, right, that could be you know, still a negative sign. So in order to get a continuation to the upside MACD on the 3D, or at least, you know, the 2D time frame, right, we got to get a bullish MACD. Okay, so, and as of now, if you take a look at the 2D time frame, right, it doesn't look so far like it wants to cross bullish. Okay, as you can see right here, what happened, we shorted it right there back in January, right around like a 86, all the way down to like a 45, based on the you know, 2D and 3D strategy. Okay, it works well. Okay, sometimes you can spot these top formations, right, based on your 3D you know, your 3D MACD, you know, and your 21 EMA. Okay, if you get a divergence on your RSI, that's going to be a plus, right? But Luna, it is you know, it is starting to show some weaknesses, right? So be cautious with it. I'm not saying it will dump all the way down to 48 and all that good stuff. I'm not giving you any guarantee it will you know, retest those lows, but it is showing a, you know, sign of weakness over the last few days and all that good stuff, right? So keep an eye on it. If we break below you know, 120, it has to stay there until we get a, you know, positive 3D MACD. Okay, with a 3D MACD we could get a confirmation of a potential continuation, even though we got a negative negative divergence. But you just have to be very cautious. Okay, so I think we seen it on we seen it on waves, right? Waves USDT. So if you take a look at waves USDT on the daily 12-hour, let's take a look at it back then. Yes, as you can see right here, waves, you know, will showing like a strong divergence, okay, on the 12-hour all the way down to the 6-hour time frame. And all of a sudden, okay, it just pumped to the upside. Okay, that was a fake out pump. Everything was right there. It just pumped to the upside before the capitulation, but the move was over, you know, after the divergence right here. Okay, after the divergence, that's when I said, okay, look for a wave to a retest when retest like the 17 to $19 right there at 0.618. Okay, actually was right here. Okay, that's what I was saying right there. 0.618. Actually 50%, right there. But now if you include the new high, right, it is a 50% pullback. So 0.618 going to be at $13. Okay, so $16 to $13, right? If bulls can show up for waves, it could make some noise, right, over the next like a few days and so on, right? So now let's go back to Luna USDT. So we're done with Luna. Let's take a look at Atom. So Atom, if we take a look at it based on the long-term trend line started since like March 2020, you can see like we've been respecting the trend line since the you know, the March capitulation. Okay, the March 2020 capitulation right there. So we tested it back in June, right there, November 2020, July, June 2021, and now we basically retesting it right here. So if we continue the downtrend, our next big support going to be the July's 2021 lows, right around like 11 to you know, down to like a $9. Okay, if we continue the downtrend, there is no sign of bullishness so far, right? MACD is negative, our side is pointing down, so that's not a good sign, at least in the short term. Okay, based on the 3D you know, based on the 3D time frame. Even if we take a look at it on the weekly, the only possible temporary support we could get is somewhere around the weekly 100 EMA at 19.8, give or take, all the way down to 3.8, all the way down to like a 236 at $18. Okay, that's the only like a, you know, temporary support I can see on Atom. Okay, but the big support to keep an eye on over the next like a few weeks going to be you know, at $11 to $9. We could get a nice swing up to like, you know, let's say $15 to $18 back up. Okay, before you know, making another, you know, consolidation again. So now let's go ahead and move on to FTM. So FTM, we talked about it back in January when FTM was above like $2. Okay, we said we're going to be retesting $1. So if you've been following our channel, we talk about it right here, somewhere around like first week, I think like mid-January, first week of January. Let's take a look at it on the 3D. Okay, on the 3D right there. Okay, right, the third weeks of January, I think, right? But it doesn't matter right now. Okay, but we talked about it back then when FTM was right around like $2. So we said we're going to drop 50%, right, all the way down to 382 Fibonacci. And after we dump in our premium, we said, okay, let's go back to the daily 21, 140 to 150. At 140 to 150, we said we're going to be retesting the $1 again, right? Now it is a support, but even though it is a it is a bearish pattern, it could still push back up to 140 to 150. So something to just keep in mind. That way you're not going to be panicking when you see like a FTM blasting off like up to like a 140, 150. It is just going to create a possible flat correction before the next continuation. And if it pushes like all the way up to 140, 150 again, I don't even think like the 75 will be a good support, but the 50 cents will be, the low 50 cents will be the next big support to rely on. Okay. However, if it drops without pulling back up, right, most likely it will consolidate somewhere around like the low 70s right there. Okay, just like ADA. If you recall ADA, right, ADA did have a strong support at $1, right, and a strong resistance at 130, 140. After it dumped all the way down to like a 75, it pumped back up to like 120, something like that. Okay, so same price, possibly same price action, okay, over the next like a few weeks and so on, right? So keep an eye on 75, actually 73 down to a 61, and 55 to 50 cents over the next like a few weeks, right? So it is not a day trade setup, so you don't need to be watching it every day. So now let's go ahead and move on to NEAR. So NEAR USDT, it is showing a possible top formation, right, on the 3D. Okay, we got the confirmation on 2D. However, the 3D, it is not negative yet, so it means that it could create some noise trying to retest the top again. Okay, so avoid like FOMOing on the next like if and only if it pushes to the upside, try to retest the top at like $18 to $19. Okay, the MACD on the 3D, it is already signaling a reversal pattern. Okay, a similar setup right here, right? You can see like it dump all the way down to $6 from like $12 after the bearish divergence right here. Okay, and you did have one also right here. Okay, a small one right there. Okay, dump like from 7.5 all the way down to $4. So big moves, nearly like 45% right here, and right there it dumped like 50%. So just just got to be very cautious with these negative divergences, right, on a 2D up to a 3D. Okay, yes, the 3D you could say, okay, I don't care, it's not negative yet, right? Yes, it could give you a short-term pump, right? But you don't want to basically be bullish once we get to 18, 19, or even like a $20. Okay, it might look very bullish, right? But just be cautious. So if you're looking to get out, if you get that pump, you got to take some profits and wait for the next like a few days or even weeks for a possible retest of 10.5. If it if we get a pump like a let's say even 23, 24, it will retest the 20s for for confirmation and all that good stuff, and you could be pushing to the upside, right, and all that good stuff. But as of now, I wouldn't be messing with it, right, as of now. Okay, even though it looks good for a 30% breakout, but since like we already got our 2D negative crossover, it is kind of challenging to try to go against the 2D negative crossover. Okay, I mean, if we take a look at Luna, last week pump like from 75 even after the negative crossover. So after these negative crossovers, right, you can get a pump, okay, like what happened on Luna on the 2D. You got your negative crossover, but you still pump like a 30%. So but you have to understand what's going on. Okay, you have to understand what's going on. That's why I was saying, even if we pump back up, right, MACD, okay, MACD will need to flip positive. Okay, MACD will need to flip positive. Okay, so it looks like BTC is still holding at 40k. Let's go back to BTC. at 39k action. I just don't like the way we started the weekly time frame. We started the weekly time frame the same way we started last week. So if you recall last week on a 6-hour basis, right, we did get the negative crossover, and all of a sudden, right, sucker pump right back up right here. Okay, the first candle of the weekly, the first 6-hour candle of the weekly time frame dump, okay, all the way down to 38.4, right, and right after it pumped right back up. So as soon as we got the close above the 21 EMA, I was like, man, it is going to be a very boring week, because you know, you just don't want to be so sure, right, it will, you know, continue to the downside after a bullish crossover right here. That's what I was trying to show you I think last week. Okay, everything was bullish right here. Okay, after the, you know, after the support and the push back up above the 21 EMA, right, on the 6-hour, that was a bullish setup, right? But on the high time frame, right, if you take a look at the 3D, your 3D was already negative. So I did not want to basically mess with my 6-hour bullishness. Okay, I just stayed with the you know, with the high time frame and just stay with the bear trend. Okay, but it's been pretty boring over the last couple of weeks. So it looks like a flat right here. So you got your nice expanded flat. So I did not expect it to go that high, but I was thinking, like, you know, it is just going to be something like that, right? But finally got rejected by the 100 EMA, right? But let's see. And these two patterns, they look alike, right? That move, okay, and that move right here. So they both three-way moves, right? Pretty boring. Hey, what's up, Mustafa? Yeah, no, you're not too late. So let's see. Mustafa is calling for a pump. So the 1 hour 21 EMA during our last live stream, right? We talked about the 1 hour 21 EMA resistance. I think, you know, BTC was somewhere around here. Okay, I think we went live like on the 21st, right? So as you can see, we could not still break the 1 hour 21 EMA. So if you were scalping, you just want to scalp around the 1 hour 21. The next resistance is going to be the you know, 1 hour 100 EMA. Okay, you know, if we get there, it is a possible setup, right? So, but last time we created the same setup right here, you know, dump, right? That's what I just tried to show you on the 6 hour, right? You know, a very strong resistance from the 1 hour 21 dump, right? The first 6 hour of the weekly candle, and then basically pump right back up to like a 42, 43 range. All right, so guys, I'm just gonna call it a day, right? It's been already 45 minutes. We talked about BTC, Ethereum, Luna, Total 2, ATOM, FTM, NEAR. Let's go ahead and take a look at the GoldBTC chart. If you have any question, guys, make sure to put it in the chat room. So so I can take a look at your moon coins. Let's go ahead and take a look at BTC. gotta find the GoldBTC chart. All right. So the GoldBTC chart, it is still consolidating. Okay, if we take a look at it on a weekly basis, let's take a look at PAXG. That's better. So PAXG, BTC, you know, resistance going to be all the way up to a 0.062. So we just got rejected again at 0.05, right? So need to take out 0.05, you know, and try to retest the 0.06. So support, it is still going to be 0.04 in case we get a gold dump and a BTC pump. Okay. Right. So I don't think we will retest the weekly 100 EMA at, you know, anytime soon. We're not going to retest the weekly 100 EMA at 0.086, right? So no need to be focusing too much around the weekly 100 EMA. We'll need to focus on 0.06 up to 0.062, and you know, we'll see if bears will be able to you know, bulls will be able to break above this range, or if bears will be able to show up at 0.062. Hey, what's up, T-Dog? Alright guys, I'm just gonna call it a day. Be safe out there, right? Make sure to join the public Telegram group, link in the description. If you're looking to join the premium group, the you know, Discord link in the description and all that good stuff, right? Hey, what's up, you know, PS4 gamer? Thanks a lot for tuning in.